We keep things rolling here on the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I am here with the one, the only, Devin Tingle. And Devin, we are ending our Sports Cubicle summer preview here in Chicago for the upcoming baseball that you can get that isn't in the south side or north side of Chicago with a main event big for WrestleMania, fit for the Super Bowl, fit for the World Cup, fit for Chicago. He is the founder. He is a legend in industry. He is Shawn Hunter, and he is joining us here from the Chicago Dog. Shawn, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for checking in, guys.
Absolutely, and the season is underway, and before we get into some of the fun, how has the season opener been? How has the first few games gone? How is everything in Rosemont?
Well, it was a perfect weekend. We swept Gary. We won all three games, and we had big crowds. We were full on Friday and Sunday. Beautiful weather, so I couldn't ask for anything more.
Shawn, this is something that I've been asking all our guests as we've been previewing baseball that you get that isn't just Cubs or Sox, because there's this renaissance that has gone on here in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, of independent baseball, affiliate baseball, minor league baseball, and you are one of the forefathers when it comes to finding all the different avenues to really do the marketing, having the entertainment on and off the field. What is it about Chicago over the last few years that has made it such a place, just this fountain of youthful families coming to watch minor league and affiliate baseball?
Well, I think this is one of the great baseball cities in America, if not the best. When you look at the history going back, 150 years, there's a lot of great choices. At the top, we've got two great teams with great histories, and then there's a lot of great minor league options. Obviously, we're very proud of what we're doing with the Chicago Dogs, and Rosemont is, I think, the ultimate home for entertainment, not just baseball, but for kind of the downtown and the suburbs. But we've got other great teams. They do a great job in Kane County and Schaumburg. And so I think we're fortunate to live in a great place.
How important was the nameage, the imagery, when it came to making the Chicago Dogs? It is something that has always fascinated me. And I think most Chicagoans are obsessed with our flag, with the design, with our imagery when it comes to downtown, the neighborhoods. How important was it for you, the team, everybody, when this all came from a brainstorm to an actual idea of making sure that not only are we producing a fun aspect of the sport, great entertainment for the fans, but we are also showing our civic pride so they could be proudful of wearing Chicago Dogs gear?
Yeah, we've fallen in love with our own logo. We think it represents all of Chicago well. Hot dog and baseball go together. I mean, it is the ultimate definition of summer, and I think we were able to capture that in our brand, in our image, and it's fun to see it on uniforms. It's fun to see it on T-shirts and hats. I travel quite a bit, so I wear my Dogs gear everywhere, and it's fun to run into people on planes that have been to games, or, we get those questions, what is it? Is that a restaurant? But more and more after the last couple of years, people come up and say, hey, I've been to one of those games. And I love telling people when they say, hey, have you been to a game? I said, yeah, I went to all 50. And then I introduce myself and let them know I'm with the team. But we've had fun with the logo. We continue to, turn out fun merchandise each year. And we have people actually that have purchased Dogs gear from all 50 states and several from out of the country.
So, Shawn, the Chicago Dogs, I believe, are the newest team in the Chicagoland area, as your first season was in 2018. And you guys are already very well known. You're selling out more than, some of the one of the major league teams for sure, and doing better than definitely a handful of the minor league teams as well here. I guess, what is your key to success in such a short amount of time?
Everything we've built, our whole business model is built around the fan, and it's all about the guest experience, making it affordable, accessible. We obviously want to put out great baseball. We want to be competitive, and we've done that. But really, it's all about the fan experience. And we set out back brainstorming in 2017 when we were thinking about our brand and where do we want to be in 10 years. We thought about the concept of making every single game Fan Appreciation Day. Almost every team at every level celebrates the last game of the season as Fan Appreciation Day, and we set out to make them all that way. And, obviously we try to do our best every night, but, we try to, subconsciously make our fans ask three questions when they go home at night. Did I have fun? Will I come back? And will I tell somebody about the experience? And if we can have a yes on all of those, then we're doing a good job. So we work hard. Most of my staff has been with me since we opened the doors, which is rare. But we have fun. It's a family, on and off the field. And, I think we've yet to reach our potential. We have a lot of fun doing what we're doing. We always take ideas from inside, but many of them come from the fans themselves.
Yeah, Shawn, I definitely see that a lot here because you have so many great promotions here, and it's not just giving stuff away. Sometimes it's deals. I mean, I see $1 hot dogs. You can't even do that anywhere anymore here. So I guess what are some of the big deals and promotions you're excited to looking for this season, or some of the ones that are new this year, or the returning ones this year?
Yeah, so probably Saturday night. My favorite days are Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is always fireworks. It's a big show, accompanied by a theme ranging from Jimmy Buffett night to Star Wars night. Elvis, we have a Mardi Gras, this Saturday's country night, and we usually immerse ourselves in the theme. Sunday is super special and has really become almost as popular and sells out almost like Saturdays, but that's Family Sunday. And an hour and a half before the game, we open the gates. Families can play catch on the field for a half hour. All of our players come out and then sign autographs for a half hour. And then during the game, there's $3 bottomless popcorn and fountain drinks. So it's an incredible experience, great for young families or diehard baseball fans. For Mother's Day, we had 3 generations. We had moms, kids, and grandkids out there playing catch. It's quite a sight to see. On probably Father's Day being the biggest of the year on Sundays, you'll have close to 1,000 people that will go out there and play catch on the field. We always pride ourselves in doing things that maybe you can't at other ballparks or other venues. Great giveaway nights. Actually, this Friday is Umbrella Night, which is one of our most popular last year. We're hoping no one has to use it, but they can take it home and use it in the future. And we've got we gave away the commemorative Hawaiian shirt to all 6,000 fans on opening night last week, which was fun. You mentioned Wiener Wednesdays. You can get a dog for $1 and unlimited. And then Thursday is very popular, which is Thursday, $2 canned beers and another big fireworks show. So every night is programmed really with something special, in whether it's a theme night or we try to create a value-added experience.
And the man behind these awesome promotions, behind the Chicago Dogs, he is the founder of the Chicago Dogs. He is Shawn Hunter, joining us here on the Sports Cubicle. I'm Mike Mercado. He's Devin Tingle. And Shawn, a few years back, I was reading an article, and I had to pull it back up because it was a fascinating one from the Sports Business Journal. And it was talking about, obviously, your journey into where we're at today. And just in these years since that article, the amount of success and going through the pandemic and everything that has come since that article, a lot has changed in the sports world and the way money is being handed out to TV deals and to partnerships with betting sites. And here in Chicago, there is a lot of stuff going on in these other organizations, these other pro sports teams. And I want to get your thoughts for somebody who's been behind so many great ventures, somebody who's been behind so many successful ventures, that right now we are hearing a lot of talk about stadiums and relocation and these brands being moved around, from the White Sox going from where they're at in the South Side 35th and Shields to the 78th. And then you have the Bears talking about staying in the campus or going to Arlington Heights. Hearing all this, do you think that there's actual truth to some of these rumors of the Bears staying in Chicago opposed to going to Arlington Heights, and the brand will be hurt by moving to the suburbs, and you can't take advantage of the Chicago location by building a stadium over there instead of right there on the lakefront? When you're hearing some of these things, does it aggravate you? Does it interest you? Because I see somebody like you who has gone through all the ups and downs and has found a way to succeed, and I hear a lot of this nonsense from these other big time people in industry and their failures, or at least their hiccups, coming up into these situations.
Well, I'm fascinated and am very interested to watch what's happening. Having been in the industry for a long time, I enjoy reading about it. I enjoy hearing about it. I do think the Bears will get a new stadium approved in the not distant future, whether it's in Arlington Heights or whether it's downtown. Most major stadiums and arenas are in the urban core, and that's just kind of the history. If you look back over the last 50 years, that doesn't mean it's meant to be on the lakefront, but you think about it, there's a great history there with Soldier Field and just the spectacular views and the sights of downtown. The Bears will be successful no matter what they do, whether they go to Arlington Heights or stay downtown. The NFL in our country is such a powerful brand. It does sit atop the food chain, and I don't think anyone would argue that. So they're the one venue that I think can go different places in a community and thrive, just because they're playing football. Really, when you include preseason, they're playing football 10 to 11 Sundays. So it's not like asking someone to make a journey for 80 baseball games or 41 hockey games or basketball games. So I think they'll be successful either way, but it will be fascinating to watch the economics and how the deal comes together, because it is a very significant investment, when you look at the total construction costs. And, I know that the White Sox also want one, and it sounds like they definitely want to stay in that downtown area and have some good options. So it will be interesting for all of us to follow the story, see how the public-private partnership unfolds, and I bet it does in the next 12 to 18 months. I bet we'll see a pathway to a solution. It won't come quick, but it won't be forever either.
So how important is flexibility or being able to compromise with one another? Because you were dealing for people in, obviously in London when it came to the O2 Arena and what was going on with the Kings, even in Denver, like all the different stuff, heck, even in Chivas, like this whole idea of all these different entities, all these different demographics, all these different governing boards that you're dealing with, all these different multi-billion-dollar corporations and people's livelihoods at stakes. How important has it been for you, at the very least, to understand that it's going to take a village in order to succeed and build Rome?
You just said something very important, and I learned early in my career that a sports team is a community asset, and a sports team should always try to give back to its community more than it takes. Now, that's impossible. A sports team can never get back more than it takes from its community, but if you try to employ that mindset, good things will happen for your team, for your community. And you think about it, it's the ultimate public-private partnership. I look of all the great projects that I've been fortunate to work on, and I've been super lucky in my career. I would say just fortune has been good to me, and I've learned a lot at each chapter. This is my favorite in Rosemont, and Mayor Stevens and the community, the village of Rosemont, has been the best public partner I've ever had. They just have great vision. They treat their residents extremely well. They treat the visitors very well, and they don't cut corners. And so I was lucky to become friends with Mayor Stephen and build what is now Impact Field. And I think that's the key, is having, that solid marriage of public-private, because it is going to take funding from both, and making sure that it's equitable and there are long-lasting community benefits. But that's I think probably what drives behind the curtain the Dogs is trying to be that community asset, so that people, not just in Rosemont, but in all the surrounding communities, feel that in some way the Dogs are their home team. And if we can do that, even with a few fans, then we're making the right moves.
So, Shawn, I think that's really interesting, and we're going to get to we're going to finish up with some fun stuff about the Chicago Dogs, but I want to get your final thoughts on this important, if you will, behind the curtain kind of stuff. And even when it comes to the Chicago Dogs, you guys being popular enough, the possibilities of streaming and working with other organizations, just throwing out names, this new stuff that's going on with Standard Media Group and the White Sox, the Bulls, Blackhawks with Stadium, or with Sinclair and Marquee, or over-the-air kind of stuff. What do you think about this notion of the sports bubble, these TV deals, the partnership with these gambling partners? Where are you when it comes to that mindset? All the stuff that you've seen in your awesome career of where we're heading when it comes to that trajectory of, we just heard the news as we're recording behind the curtain of Netflix officially getting the Christmas game, spending a bunch of money the next 3 years. How do you think this all plays out when it comes to the big dollars in the media aspect, the media rights aspect?
Well, it's right now, I think anyone that could claim they know where it's going would not be telling the truth. I mean, literally the earth moves under our feet when it comes to distribution at all levels. It is, the NBA is going through a massive negotiation right now, and NBC's jumped back in the fray. When I grew up in the NBA, starting my career with the Nuggets, and having a good run there, NBC was the anchor, the flagship for broadcasting. So I think it's changing. Streaming is obviously becoming more and more important. However, making your product free is important to developing a fan. I think you're not going to develop a super fan. You can't just have a pay service. You can't just have a direct-to-consumer, be behind a paywall, and expect to create super fans. It's got to be free. I grew up watching my teams free on television, listening to them on the radio, becoming a super fan. I'm excited that our league, and we do stream all of our games, we used to be behind a paywall. Our games are now free, and we're seeing an increase. Opening weekend, our commissioner told me that our audience was up about 400% over last year, because it's now available to more of our fringe fans. So I think, the NFL is doing it right. I think the NBA is doing it right. A blend of over-the-air delivery with a slow migration to streaming, and in some cases, direct-to-consumer pay service. It is evolving. It will continue to evolve, and anyone that says that they're right on top of it and can predict it, I don't think is being very truthful.
Shawn, I think that's awesome because one thing we hear all the time is people missing the days of WGN, WCIU, ABC, being able to watch the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. And you talk about representing locally where you're from, like the Dogs do, and some of the other great affiliates that are doing here. I think a lot of people understand how important it is to stay local, to stay regional, while trying to also understand it's a business and make money. Shawn Hunter, you've been awesome. Devin, you got the final one for our amazing guest, our legendary guest here on the Sports Cubicle, Shawn Hunter, the founder, the guy behind the Chicago Dogs.
Yes, Shawn. So we got $1 dogs on Wednesday, but I noticed you guys play as the Chicago Wieners here. I'm curious, why on Wednesdays did you want to do that name change from the Chicago Dogs to the Chicago Wieners?
It was just a good fit. We actually we protected the name Wiener Wednesdays. We knew Wednesdays were going to be our dollar dogs, and it all flowed together. Wiener Wednesdays, your hot dogs are $1. We play in these kind of hideous mustard uniforms, purposely kind of outrageous, and we decided that we would just protect the name. So in baseball, we own the name the Chicago Dogs, and we also own the name the Chicago Wieners. And just thought it'd be a little fun. And our broadcasters, typically when you tune in, they're not calling a Dogs game; they're truly calling a Chicago Wieners game.
Now, please tell me you sell these ugly yellow Chicago Wieners jerseys, and me and my boy Mike here can get some custom ones with our names on the back.
We do. Absolutely.
There you go, Mike.
We would love to see that happen.
That's amazing. Shawn, this has been an absolute treasure. You have been a source of knowledge that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy to listen to. People like you know better than anybody. Chicago loves its sports, all the way down from when your kids are playing at 5 years old to watching the pros at Rosemont to Wrigley Field to down at Guaranteed Rate and everything in between. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk to the founder, the genius, one of the leaders of the Chicago Dogs. He's got an amazing team behind him. It is Shawn Hunter. Shawn, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports Cubicle.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity.